live again during the most unfathomable, unthinkable, improbable, spectacular. You got the towel this time? Can you do this?
Got the.
We got the towel. The crew is here, and given that the circumstance is so massive, probably the most certainly unique, peculiar run of our sports Philly careers, our Philly sports time being fans, we needed to up the ante and find our own City Pigeons studio. So here we are in this wonderful City Pigeons studio.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we just threw down $20,000 and just popped this baby right in. And if you happen to be, for those of you watching live, you can see this wonderful set.
You can see Rock's head.
You can see Rock's head. I think he has a green shirt on, which is leading to maybe some translucence on his body.
Oh, shit.
If you're listening after the fact via any of the podcast platforms, you might want to check out the YouTube because we got ourselves a wonderful setting here for the start of this fine program. And gentlemen,
and this is all real. This is not CGI. You can clearly tell.
There's definitely no green screen behind this.
No screen. This is the real deal, and we're excited to be here. Last night we had a tremendous time. 3/4 of the podcast were at the World Series game.
It's all good. I'm glad you guys had it. I'm glad you guys. I was watching live on TV, so
it makes you feel better. We had a great time.
Yeah, he didn't.
It does. I'm just glad you guys had a good time.
I think you were texting us, asking us if we were having fun. We said, "Yeah, we're having a good time, man. Don't you worry about it." But we had a great time at the game. Meech and I, if you guys watched last week, I invited Meech to come with me. That was a fantastic experience in every respect.
Yeah, it was worth it. That was a pretty cool experience, and I'll definitely never forget that game.
And by the way, you can
sounds like you won't forget that game.
Here,
I bruised my vocal cords. Like I did some serious shredding to them, and I didn't talk all day, hoping I'd have a voice for today, and it's not going well. But this is what you get. It's just.
Did you have any hot tea or?
I was getting beamed up all day. I don't drink tea, so I drank about 17 cups of coffee today, just so I'd have that.
Getting all beamed up. I think really where I think you lost it was when maybe around like the 4th or 5th inning when you were really leaning into McCullers on the.
Yeah, I was getting into McCullers.
Because he did really suck, and we were all over that.
Wait, were you one of them guys behind him while he was warming up?
No, that was classic. You see that?
Philly's money line. Philly's money line's free.
That's the beautiful thing about the era we're living in, right? It's like, you go to the game, you experience it, it's fantastic, and then there's just going to be so much gold that comes out over social media.
Oh, yeah.
I know, Fink, last night you were posting, that you couldn't go to sleep, and it's hard. I think I got home and spent an hour looking at all the great stuff. I
was up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, you can't get enough. And then you wake up in the morning, and then you're digesting all of it. You're having the greatest time ever. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful time. And the tough part is we got to get geared back up again. I guess it's not tough. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's pretty easy.
It's the greatest thing ever. But yeah, I just keep thinking to myself, I can't believe that the Phillies were in the World Series. If we had thought about this, if someone had told you this was going to happen, you never would have believed it. And the way they're playing it is just fantastic. But I wanted to go back to some of the game experiences, because we've talked a lot in the past in some of our episodes about what it's like to go with different people to the game, and so had a couple of experiences in there that I thought were interesting. Fink, I know you were out there in kind of like left field, right? Where were you exactly?
Base side, 135.
Third base side, and you went with a couple friends, or?
Yeah, we went. We had 4 of us. It got crazy.
Yeah.
No Astros fans, but we were sitting in front of the Astros family section.
Oh.
Like they were like above, like right there. So they were trying to get it going during the first inning.
You weren't having that.
Once we scored a couple of runs, man, I was on them for the rest. I was on their asses for the rest of the game.
Speaking of the Astros family section, right? So you guys were obviously at the game. You didn't see what was going on TV. They cut in to who all the celebrities were in the crowd. There was your local celebs. Mike Meech, Jesse Rendell, Eric Fink.
Got it.
But then they cut into this woman who I didn't know who she was a couple weeks ago, Kate Upton. And she's like, the Phillies were up, I think it's 7-0 at this point, and she's like cheering and going crazy. And I'm like, is she staying
depressed?
No, I was like, she's staying in Philly with my man Ranger Suarez or something somewhere. I don't know what's going on.
Ranger would put it past him. Yeah. She's got a lot. She's got millions of reasons to be happy, I think, no matter what happens.
Nothing is going on in Kate Upton's life ever. So
no,
she has nothing to be upset about. She just cheers all the time.
So it was funny because anybody who watches the program or listens knows that Meech is somewhat of a, I want to call you a degenerate gambler. Is that fair? Is that just...
No, it's very unfair.
You're a degenerate gambler. Anyway, the point is, He's making bets. He's thinking about things, and he turns to me and says something that I thought was just hysterical. He says, "I have a bet, $100 on the first pitch of the game by McCullers that it will be over 87 miles per hour." And I was just like,
You can bet on
I'm
something
like,
like
what
that?
are you talking
And
about?
see, that's,
Shit.
it's not. I didn't make it up. Somebody did the research, and they said in the 10 games McCullers started this year, all 10 games he started off with a fastball, most of the time down and away. So I just went with this and followed it. The bet was, will his first pitch of the game be over or under 87.5 miles? I took over. It was under.
The first 3 pitches were
Sometimes you
under.
lose.
I'm confused about this because you said down and away fastball, and then everyone said he doesn't throw fastballs to lefties. So I don't understand the rationale. You thought his pitch, his slider or whatever, was still going to be over 87.
No, I thought he was going to throw a fastball down the way to try and get him to chase because he's done it every game he's pitched so far.
Interesting. So his first pitch he would do that, but overall, he doesn't typically do that.
Right.
Interesting. So you went with the trends. I just thought that was great. You always pick up on something.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great, and it's funny because the game started and immediately, you know how you can tell someone's like trying to act like they don't really care, but they're kind of like kicking themselves. I could see that look in his eye.
Yeah,
He's
it
like,
was.
Damn.
It was instant regret. It was a stupid bet. I wish I never even read that stat.
It would have been a hell of a way to start if you had, made that money right there. What was it, 100 to win? No,
I should have.
138.
What I should have did is like some dude on DraftKings I saw did a $100 4-leg parlay. Marsh homer, Bryce homer, Schwarber homer, Hoskins homer. $100 won him $100,000.
Oh, shit.
I should have did that.
Can you imagine? Yeah, and I think you're a little different than the average.
Wait, I'm sorry, what were the 4 guys?
Marsh, Schwarber, Bryce, and
Boom.
No,
Bohm?
No, it wasn't Bohm.
Hoskins.
Everybody but Bohm.
Yeah.
Everybody but Bohm that hit a homer.
Damn.
So a lot of dingers last night. Pretty much like the best game that you could really go to,
Yeah,
right?
5 dingers in one game is like the
Unbelievable.
greatest, and let alone a World Series game.
It sounds like, all throughout the playoffs, there's been so many good home runs at home. It sounds like they're amplifying the sound of the ball coming off the bat. That sound, it's just tremendous to be in there, watch the ball go out, and needless to say, the crowd was fantastic. But Meech, I wanted to get into something that was very particular about your behavior at the game, because very early on, we noticed there was a family in front of us. It was actually very interesting. There was 2 very old folks who I felt bad for because they couldn't even really stand up.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
that was a waste of ticket.
Yeah,
I should have gave that ticket to me, man.
I felt
Fuck.
bad. The guy had the cane. He couldn't really stand up. and-
Everybody's standing around them. You can't tell
Yeah.
everyone to sit down. I
Was-
gotta watch the game.
Was he cheering though? Was he?
It was hard to tell. It was
Oh.
hard to tell. I felt
I
bad.
thought he was comatose by like the third inning.
I thought I was. By the way, we were going to call you Fink or somebody else because I figured they would be out of there. They stayed. To their
Yeah.
credit, they stayed the whole game.
Probably fell asleep.
I don't think he fell asleep, but close. So next to them,
Died?
there was no, he did not die. Rocky did not die. Okay.
Sorry.
Next to them was probably like a 1-year-old girl.
Yeah, little girl. She had to be.
She was probably
between
1,
2. She
and
was
then
watching her iPad.
Right, and then it was a family. It was 2 women, and then a young boy who was, what do you think, 5?
I'd say 5 or 6.
5 years old. And so
Probably first grade.
it was interesting because, the little girl's not really paying attention. The boy kind of wants to get into it. Well, let's just say last night that Meech found his 6th son, because Meech,
This kid and I formed a little bond together. Well, I noticed he was sitting right in front of me, and he's not watching the game. So every time something good happens, I'm trying, pretending to body him up. I'm giving him high fives just to get him. Because listen, when he gets older, he's going to know he was at this game, but you got to remember it. You got to experience it, and you're not going to do that looking at your little sister's iPad.
Well, let me say this. It was to the point where, the woman that was with the kid was kind of paying attention to the game, and she would look over every once in a while, and she kind of had that look of like, is this guy, he's really, there's a lot of touching going on here. Like, I think this is
Uncle
like,
Mike,
he's trying
getting
to,
creepy.
Please, man. He's trying to be a good steward and get the kid into the game, but they were definitely like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, you stayed with it, and then you guys formed a real bond to the point where it was like it was your 6th son. It was amazing.
He turned to me at one point. He goes, "You say a lot of bad words like fuck and shit." I'm like, "Oh, no.
Wait, the little kid said
The
that?
little kid said
Oh
this.
man.
Oh my God. And then in one of the critical, pivotal moments of the game, I look over, Schwarber's up, right? I look over, and Meech has the kid on his shoulders.
This random kid.
Yes.
He was in front of me, and everyone's standing, and Schwarber just came up.
Where were this kid's parents?
They were right next to
Yeah,
him.
I
They're
mean,
like, oh yeah, get
there were
him.
two women.
I wasn't being weird with the kid.
I know you weren't being weird.
But
with the
let me
kid.
just say this: without asking them, you lifted this child onto your shoulders.
He couldn't see, so I picked him up like Simba or something. And then I put him on my shoulders. What happened? The very next pitch.
Home run.
Home run. And I can tell you why, because I'm standing next to Meech, and all of a sudden I like feel something going on. I look over, see this kid, I'm like smiling, like, oh,
This
check
kid's
that out.
high-fiving everybody
Yeah,
in the
and
section.
I hear the crack, and I'm like, look back, and the ball's about to go, over center field. Just a classic situation. But I wonder if that kid today woke up and said, Mommy, who is that man? Who is that great
best
man?
friend.
Mom was like, that was Uncle Meech.
That wonderful. Oh well,
Sweet.
he did. Wait, I'm correcting. What did he ask you for? He asked you for something.
He asked me for my address. He's like, "What's your address?" I was like, "No, we're just friends at the baseball game, my man."
It's gonna be one of those things where he sends you like a little postcard
Yeah,
for you to
right.
sign and
Yeah.
send back to him.
So wait, somebody in the chat said I'm wearing my invisibility cloak, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna go change.
Is that working good for you?
I
I kind of like it.
I got a picture.
Should I just go the
of
whole-
you wearing your,
Should I just go the whole show?
So
like,
wait, just to
invisible?
clarify, Rock wore his green Roy Halladay shirt.
Shout out Roy Halladay, bro.
Which in
Shout
our
out Roy
studio is having this weird
Do I look
situation.
like a floating head now?
Yeah, like great move, dude. Great move. Okay, so I had a particular situation too at this game. It's always the little weird things that I pick up on. I went to the bathroom with my son, and I had my rally towel, right? And I went. The stalls were on the left when I came in, so I did the stall move. Because if you go to the stall, as long as the guy in there is not dropping anchor, then it should be at most like a minute and a half, depending on how much alcohol the guy's consumed. Anyway, so
And who's dropping an anchor during a World Series?
You know what? At the Eagles game the other day, there was like 4 people posted up. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, point is, I'm standing there. I got my rally towel. My son's next to me. I look down. My rally towel falls onto the floor. Okay, and he looks down. We both look down, and then we look at each other because there was like a drain, and there was definitely some liquid
collection of
liquid.
liquid.
And it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, this was not like a puddle. This towel was not like super saturated. But in that moment, I had to make a decision. This was early in the game, and I really wanted to have my rally towel.
Yeah.
So I made what I'm guessing most people would think is a poor decision, in that I went down for the rally towel and just kind of pretended nothing happened, and I had a rally towel that probably had,
It's probably hit me
It was
in the
definitely
head all night
piss.
when you were swinging it around.
You got piss on your hand, and you got piss on your head.
This was pretty early, man. I don't remember.
Why didn't you just take it over to the sink and rinse it out?
Because then it would have been all soaking wet.
No, then you wring it out. You know what I mean?
Whatever, dude.
better than
Everybody
having
knows
piss all over
your
you.
rally towel falls to the ground, on the floor half the time you're there anyway. You're swinging around, you lose it. So that was my quirky little experience that I had there. And then I saw something else that I don't know if we ever talked about this, but we always talk about the random shit that people wear to the game, and what you wear, you don't wear. Where do we come down on signed jerseys? Because I saw this guy, he had an old, I don't know if it was, I think it was a Schmidt jersey, and signed on the number. And for me,
Rock
I might wear my
signed
Randall. The blood
like the coffee
stain.
I would never wear a sign.
Yeah, that sounds silly. I would never wear my bloody Randall signed jersey.
in my ethos, if something is signed, it's done. You know what I mean? You can't wear
Then
it.
it's a piece of memorabilia. It's
I
not-
have
Yeah.
that. We did that the one time we bought our favorite memorabilia. I had that Blue Iverson jersey, right? That's still fresh, signed. I can't wear that.
Nah.
It'd be ridiculous. I mean, you can't get smudged. You spill something on it. You can't do that. So I thought that was a little weird. Any other Rock from your vantage point? I want to.
I got a question. Did you guys, since it was, I know it wasn't Halloween, but it was the day after Halloween. I saw my Twitter's still suspended, but I can still see tweets and stuff, right? So I went on there to check today, and I saw there was the Oscar the Grouch costume.
Yep.
Did you see any other interesting costumes out there? What were we seeing out there? We're seeing
I didn't either, which kind of makes sense, right? It's not Halloween anymore. There was a big Grim Reaper dude outside the stadium, but
Now, because we tailgated 2 days because they canceled the one game, so we had
Nice.
10 hours of tailgating total before. game
backstory on
three.
that. It's important to understand is that when you say tailgate, you guys were keeping it real. Both days, I think you were in the lot by 3:00. I came down a little later. Was there for an hour or two on Monday, and then
Yeah, so
an
we
hour or
put
two
in time.
Tuesday.
I think we ate Steve's Prince of Steaks, Angelo's Pizza,
Off the
Angelo's
truck?
Steak. No,
brought it.
We brought it, but within the 2 days, and I had Federal Donuts, chicken sandwiches. I had all my favorite things in that
So
2 day
it's
span.
probably aside from your voice, from an internal
there's just
perspective, you're not
crap I've
feeling
been
good.
throwing in my body.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of Angelo's, right? Saw on Instagram that the Astros.
Yeah, they denied the Astros.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
But then they got some sort of
Well, they
death threats or
clarified
something, right?
Today, they didn't want to. They're not open past 7. They wanted it for like 10:30, and he said he's not doing it because they want to watch the game and stuff like that.
Well, it would have did it for the Phillies if they asked. Put it that
So
way.
I made the decision on Monday because this guy was nice enough to bring me a cheesesteak, and I was debating at that point since it had been
Traded a cheesesteak for a ticket. That's pretty cool.
That's a pretty good
It's a
deal.
pretty good outcome there for you. But so I had the cheesesteak that he had is been in the car for a couple hours. You know what I mean? So at that point I decided, I'm going to wait, and if they call this game off, I'm going to go home and put this thing in the oven. And that was my consolation when I got home. I kind of just did my own thing, put it in the oven, ate, and so I felt, pretty good about that.
Stadium gut special right there.
What did you do? What was your approach to watching the game
last night?
Yeah,
I was a little salty all day that I wasn't going to the game.
Even if you're not the biggest fan, you like major events.
So
you want to be a part of it.
Basically, I went to work, and then after work, I killed some time, went to the gym. After the gym, stopped at the supermarket, went home, ate, and watched the game on the couch.
Just an average night.
Just sitting
there. Did you
there.
feel the need for any sort of interaction?
I texted with the homies all night. I got like 8 text chains going, people going nuts on the text chains, but none of us were down there, Yeah. There was, it was a good game, so I enjoyed myself, you know what I mean? I didn't have to deal with the crazies, which I like.
Pea-soaked rally towel on your shoulder?
I might have had a piece. So actually,
What were you doing?
No, well, so my wife fostered a dog for a couple of days, and the dog peed on the floor. So I wiped some pee up.
Okay.
So I might have had a little pea-soaked rally. I didn't swing it around and hit her in the face with it, but
Yeah. Well, I have a problem with the rally towels because I take my son to the game sometimes, and he's like. He stands on the chair, so he's comes up to 3/4 of my size. So when he swings the rally towel, it's right at eye level. If you catch the end of that rally towel in your eye, that could be a game changer, man. That's
speaking of eyes, I'm sorry it's about speaking, but they said another thing during the game on the telecast last night.
We didn't hear any of that, so you got to
so I didn't realize that. So Bryce Harper, when he was drafted, #1 pick, child prodigy, he came into professional baseball. He had bad eyes. Did you guys know that? He went to go see an eye doctor. He had his first struggle in the minors. He went to go see an eye doctor. The eye doctor's like, I don't know how you're hitting these baseballs. You can't see for shit, basically. So he got contacts.
Okay.
So
he was contacts?
Yeah. So he's like, it's like seeing in HD. So maybe
looks to me like he's seeing pretty good right now. So let's not mess with that at all.
Just one of those things that came out of the game that surprised me last night.
Thanks for that tidbit. We missed that.
I know.
So thank you.
He's having the best postseason of any baseball player in the history of Major League Baseball.
I mean, in our lifetimes, right? If you think about it,
he just seems so clutch. It's the moments that you need it. It's just boom, there it is. You know what I mean? He just smacks one.
Yeah, you're thinking Nick Foles. You're thinking about some of those standout performances, but this is probably going to go down as the best one, at least in our lifetime, which is great. And hopefully, it ends the way that we want. A wider theme though that struck me last night, and this is kind of throughout this run I've been thinking about. We talked about back in the day, back when we were first getting started, maybe before we even started doing this, about, we were in kind of a down spot, I think, as a fan base when we had the issues with Simmons, kind of acting like Philly was too tough for him, and we all know it was bullshit. And then with Wentz, and there was a time when there was players, if you remember, like Danny Green, and I think Embiid said something. A couple people said stuff about the fans getting on the players, and we started to develop there was this discussion going on at a national level about whether Philly fans were too harsh and that it was a bad place to play, and I started to have this fear that there was going to be this aura of that it was just a tough.
That was one of our early episodes discussions talking about how people wouldn't want to come here because Phillies are so tough. Whatever.
That was my concern, was that the national perception was going to run away with that, and that was going to affect people's view of the city and might affect the way players hypothetically looked at here as a destination, where they wanted to come here. And as I'm sitting here watching these games, I think we can all agree this has to be the most impactful that a crowd has ever been on the outcome.
For sure.
By far.
I mean, look, we've all been to...
Dude, they're undefeated in the playoffs here, man.
We've all been to plenty of sporting events. Obviously the Eagles, that's a scenario where the crowd...
Yeah, sometimes home field advantage isn't really real. You might win at home more often, but it's not a real... It's a real
Yeah, it's a real thing here.
Yeah, I can't believe the way that it affects the pitchers. We can get to people... And I was surprised watching like Houston, right? That's a disadvantage. Like their crowd is not attempting to affect us negatively, right? We're doing that. And so I just was thinking to myself, this is like the exact opposite of what happened then. Like this is the kind of revelation of like what we really are in terms of, you know, how we handle ourselves and what that means for people to play here. And I think coming out of this, if you're a baseball player, you're telling me you don't want to play here. Like, how could you not want to play here?
Yeah, I mean,
if you're any kind of player, how could you not want to play here?
And like, did you guys hear Nick Castellanos' comments after the game about playing in Philly and how the only thing compares to is European soccer? Did you see this?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I didn't see that.
Oh man, hearing stuff like that, I think people are going to want to come here. I think the perception.
Called it the jungle.
Called it the jungle, baby.
So are you switching your position on, like, back when we were talking about this before, you were like, I don't know, man, I think the fans need to kind of cool out a little bit. Players aren't going to want to come here. And my position was, that's not the kind of player you want. If a guy doesn't want to come here because they can't handle the pressure of performing for the fans, that person doesn't even really have the heart to be a good professional athlete. They don't have that drive to, like, really want to win.
Yeah. And I'm not I think at the time, part of the reason that was my stance was because we
Ben
were
was
talking
getting
about
beaten to the
it
dirt.
was with Ben and a lot of other players that I think were more likely, especially the NBA. I think is a little different too. You know what I mean? I think you're dealing with guys that have been handled with kid gloves and put on a pedestal. It's not like football where you got to like grind everything out, or baseball where you got to fight your way up from the minors. I think it does certainly impact certain players poorly, and I have been, by the way, at a number of different sporting events, preseason games or stuff where people start booing them, and you got to be kidding me with this crap. But you see, I think the Alec Boehm situation is a perfect example, right? Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know how he feels now. Like, maybe he was like, yo, you guys weren't with me when I was sucking. Or maybe he's thinking, I was sucking, so I deserved that.
Yeah, pretty sure.
He came around on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're seeing it in a positive way where, that intensity affects the other team is directed in a positive light. But I think more than anything, and I do think, and we talked a lot about, like, social media and its role in things. Like, right now, being a part of this and all the clips and stuff are coming out, like, everybody's just so into it and there's so much engagement around it that I think there's just an energy that is just more than we've ever seen before. Don't you think?
We saw this when the Eagles were going on their run, but
we knew already. Like
the Phillies run in 08, 09, those were cool, but like even in 08, we had some expectations because we made the playoffs the year before. This team, like,
came out of nowhere.
My greatest expectations of this team was you get some playoff experience. You can figure out who's big who's meant for this team. Like, you could decide whether you want to keep Rhys Hoskins, Aaron Nola, and now these guys are like that.
It's crazy.
Where are you at on Nola right now, by the way?
Tell me, ask me this on next week. No,
down on him.
No, honestly, Aaron Nola, I'll never say another bad thing about him. He gave up 5 runs last game, but he'll be fine tonight. And
I honestly feel stupid. If you guys recall, I was questioning whether we were making too much of a big deal about them making the playoffs. And I just assumed, how's this team that's been so up and down all year and finished like limping in going to go in and win 3 games on the road, or 2 games on the road? And then they just did it, and then everything they've done since then it's really defied logic.
This team played 14 straight road games at one point from the end of the regular season up until Game 2 in Atlanta. 14 consecutive road games.
Unbelievable.
Not only is that unbelievable, but it's that shit like that builds character when you're winning in those conditions. And then after 14 home games, to come home and see that crowd, because when they left, the crowd wasn't like that. It was hardly there, and they never got to see them at the end of the season when they needed a win. They clinched in Houston, they finished in Washington. Like, it was just on the road for so long that they never got to see the fans appreciate them at the end of the year, and then to come home after 14 straight games and they haven't lost yet at home, to see the crowd like this. All of those players, because none of them have been here, all of them, they got to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I never saw anything like this before.
All it takes
These
is a
same
championship
people
run.
were not here 3 weeks ago. It wasn't like this.
Right.
And it just transformed. The city's just so into it. And when Philadelphia is most dangerous is when they believe that they can win.
Yeah.
Like that 07 Eagles team that were underdogs, that we knew we were going to win every game. Like, it's not 17. but you get what I'm saying. That crowd, and it just fuels you to victory. And this right now is going into Game 4, but I don't think they're going back to Houston, man. I just don't see it.
Let's go. Let's go. I hope you're right. It's interesting because like most of the big players on this team have had a moment in this season where they were like frustrated or they had like an issue. I remember Castellanos was arguing with one of the media guys. JT had the vaccination thing. You know what I mean? Like each one of these guys. Reese
Bone had the errors in the beginning.
Right.
Of the year.
Like, and so they were all like fed up with the situation at some point. And there was that one losing streak that was just so rough. For them to come back, see it like you said, and then I think the best part is for them to see how directly it's impacted the other team and pick them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, this is a huge advantage. And then to go play in Houston and not even feel that, you know what I mean? It's just an amazing thing, man. It's been a crazy run. It's sad that one way or the other it's going to have to end, but it may be for the best for everybody, for our health and
I'm actually looking
sanity,
forward to it then.
our relationships, you know what I mean?
I got this playoff beard going. I want to get rid of it, man. It's itching like shit.
I thought you were rolling that into November.
Nah, I
not
can't
shave
do
it?
it, bro. I can't do it. It's fucking.
Does not work for you?
That pew beard is just not.
pew beard?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's no
itchy
problem.
as shit. I was thinking though, the Eagles are undefeated, and if I shave it off and they lose one, I'll feel like I got to take some blame. But I can't do it, man. Shit itches.
All right. Well, look.
I love superstitious people.
I think you will.
Your beard's affecting the Eagles.
Are you
play.
wearing the same clothing?
I'm not
still?
changing.
there you
I'm
go.
not showering, changing. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to stay up for the rest of the
Yeah,
year.
I debated. I thought with the new studio that maybe we should all get into our suits and be more professional.
Still
But then I thought
Still smells like Citizens Bank Park.
let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. All right. Well, Rock, you said you don't want to break the streak, right?
No.
And we do have an interesting scenario coming up this week with the Phillies and Eagles.
Yeah, what do you do about
Game.
that?
Has
mean,
this happened? Was it?
Nothing like this.
I can't
like
think of it.
A possible clincher, but it's not a question.
It helps
I'm
that
gonna
the
watch.
Eagles are playing a dog shit team, so it's
That
like that game might be
helps.
over by halftime. You know what I mean?
That helps. Yeah, it would be weird if I think we're all, because of the magnitude of the World Series game, kind of, and how well the Eagles are playing, just writing off that game completely.
Yeah.
God forbid they're doing the same. Yeah, you got.
Yeah, you gotta go.
But it's
I was thinking
interesting.
about those people who were like Meech, who decided to just go ahead and not like you,
Yeah,
but talked about, but like they're
I
just like,
feel bad for
just
them.
like I'm just going down to fucking Houston.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So like
yes.
they bought these games or these tickets for the Eagles game, so they got to go to the game. But at the same time, there's
Would you go?
Yeah. What do you do there?
I think you sell your tickets, you bail on the whole thing.
I don't know, but I think it would be really cool if the Phillies won on Thursday night and Eagles fans were in Houston. So not only does
there you go.
not only does Houston have to feel the loss themselves, but then they have Philly people in their city to laugh at them like Nelson from The Simpsons.
That would be elite, man. That would be a great situation. Well, I'm wondering how you're going to handle it because, one of the biggest problems that I've noticed, right? Because I recently switched from my, however many years I was on Comcast, right, to the YouTube TV program, which is great. The one thing that is the biggest problem, the remote for our TV, right? Because you got to use the TV remote. It doesn't light up. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what the hell you're
Do you know
talking
what I'm
about.
talking about?
No.
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, dude.
Oh, on Comcast.
Yeah, the Comcast remote, like when it's dark and you're in your bedroom, it lights up. You can
Oh,
see
you talking about your cable provider?
Yeah.
So you switched to YouTube.
Right. So
All
I have to use
right,
my
I'm
TV
completely
remote,
lost
so I'm like
there.
in the
Yeah,
dark
right.
trying to figure out, But then it brings into play the apps, right? And another good thing about cable, this isn't an ad for cable, but with cable you can switch between channels very easily, right? If this football game was on Amazon Prime, and I'm watching the baseball game on a YouTube TV app, I got to go in and out of apps.
Oh yeah, I hear
to
you.
switch.
Listen, I got the illegal hookup, dude. So like, I got I mean, no, I don't. But like, hypothetically, if I had the illegal hookup, you got it's like all between like apps, so you got to like click back, and I understand exactly what you're saying. It's like that last channel button is definitely the shit.
I'm not.
But when you're
if you got to leave the YouTube app and then open the Amazon app, that's
Yeah,
you're just
it's a
gonna,
pain
you're
in
gonna
the
miss
ass.
something eventually.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss something eventually. But it's interesting, the TV broadcast rights scenario with that game. The local broadcast is going to be on Fox. Now it's on PHL 17 because Fox is going to have the World Series. And I don't even know if you can get that on YouTube TV, if you can get the PHL. If anybody is watching this who knows the answer to that question, if I'm in YouTube TV and I'm watching Fox, can I get the PHL 17 Eagles broadcast?
This is what you do.
So I can go back.
Whatever else you're trying to watch, if you got two things going, pull out your phone, pull one up. You put it on Stream East or whatever other illegal streaming sites that are out there. You watch it on your phone, and then you watch whatever else you want to watch on your main screen.
You, but
just watch the Phillies, all right? I mean,
you know what, man?
The Eagles will be fine.
I got to be honest with you. I hear what you're saying, but I don't really have it in my makeup to just completely ignore an Eagles game. That's very hard to do.
You can get score updates.
He's got a point.
This is 2022. You could figure something out.
He's got a point. If you put it on your phone, then it's just like that little screen.
It's right there, dude. I do it every Sunday.
You can do that.
People are saying Fobo TV on the phone.
Yeah, nobody knows what that is, right?
Fobo TV. What's going on with these comments?
I'm gonna tell you.
I don't even know how to do YouTube TV, so
we
I'm
need
out
the
of this
comments.
conversation.
We don't have the PJ. We don't have the comments up on the screen. Has gone. It's sleeping on us. So if you can wake it up, then we can see the comments. I don't know if you can even hear me. You can hear me. What do you got over there, Fink? You got anything interesting? Who's in the chat? Any of the usual suspects?
Out of here, Mattress Mac from our boy Tom.
Tom
helped us give out donuts to everybody on social media.
Yes, okay. I have a lot of respect for Tom being in there because he's got to be down like at the stadium or something right now, slinging around, going around slinging donuts to all the, the people that need to get hooked up. So,
there we go.
Hey, respect Tom. Oh, there you go. He says he's tired.
He said he's still wearing the same outfit from yesterday.
Trevor refuses to change his clothes. We love that. Trevor's my buddy who goes with us to the game, and we kept lifting my son up, right? Because like the camera would come by. We had the Fox camera there, so we were putting them up, trying to get him on, and we were failing miserably. And
we got him on.
At the very end, we got him onto the Fanavision.
So Teef was down there with you guys too?
Yeah, Trevor's kind of like the good luck charmer.
Dude.
He's been down there for most of the games.
What the fuck?
He got the viral clip. Now, Meech, you kind of got like a pseudo viral clip, right? Like you kind of made it into a picture.
It was like the whole theatrical presentation that was before Bryce Harper's first at bat. Seriously, it was like a goddamn scene from a movie, from John Smoltz basically calling what was going to happen on the first pitch, to just the way the camera followed him, to the song, his at-bat music. It was just the coolest freaking clip I've ever seen. But during it, you see somebody holding up a sign that says Bryce Harper for governor or some shit, and we were right behind that sign. So I looked for myself. I was right up in the top corner. You could see me mouthing "Let's go Bryce" when I still had a voice.
Yeah. So Fink's gonna try to find that. If he gets that, guys, you go ahead and pull that up, because Meech it's not as good as Trevor's viral clip, if I'm being honest. Nothing matches up to that clip that Trevor got. I did see on here, Enrico says that you can see the game on YouTube and that Comcast sucks. And we hear you.
That's former 700 level Comcast employee. And
I didn't know that.
My guy.
I didn't know there was a history there. Hopefully we're not on Comcast internet here, because they'll probably just cut the signal any minute.
I'm definitely not illegally streaming.
So
anything,
we have the
by
picture
way.
here. We have the picture. Is that in the frame?
And I don't know if you want to get the clip.
Can you
next.
zoom in on that? I guess not, huh? Oh, we zoom in. You got it. You see Meech there? I mean, this guy left it all on the field out there last night, man. You got to give him credit.
Yeah, I'm on the 15-day DL. I might have to.
Hey, I got to tell you, he said, we were talking about what we're gonna do, because we gotta, like all you guys. And by the way, thank you if you're watching this live. Thank you, because I know you're probably you got plans or something. You're gonna watch the game. You got to click right over to that. But we got to figure out what we're gonna do. And he said, I think I might go home, which was surprising to me, because he's usually he's usually all about getting together. And
yeah, but I want to watch it with my kids, and it's I got to recalibrate for tomorrow.
Yeah, because you did neglect them by going to the game with me and not getting them a ticket. You know what I mean?
We did let them stay home from school today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they were out watching the game.
Okay.
Now,
Wait. Hold on. So your kids stayed home from school today because they were up late watching the game? You didn't just wake them up and get going?
So my kids went in
late. Did Dean go to school?
He went late. We got home at like 12:30. So it's went late.
I got 5 boys, right? And
6 now.
Yeah. No, one, like, I'm not even sure if he's really mine, because he woke up around like 8:30 and he's like, "Why didn't anyone wake me up? I want to go to school. I got a lot of." He's 10 years old. And
I love that.
My wife had to drive him into school. I mean, he's a great kid. I love you, Xavier, but like, I would never in a million years say, "You got to drive me to school."
Are you okay with this? Can you guys?
No, I wouldn't put that kid.
You don't want to put
Yeah, don't put the kids.
I have a
on.
picture of the kid. We'll just show her. It's Meech and the kid. I took a picture of Meech and his 6th kid. Can we send this to your wife and tell her this is your new adopted child?
I don't think she wants to.
You don't think she wants to go that route?
Raise another child.
I think the kids need to get like accustomed to getting 5 hours of sleep, man. That's what happens in the real world when you grow up. You know what I mean? Like
in the real world.
You were out partying last night, but get the fuck up and go to school, man.
Yeah, in the real world, you just get real.
Yeah, that's the way life goes, though, man.
School and you go.
My buddy Mark just texted me, asked me if I could speak up.
Hey, can we get him a little tea here in the studio? Can we get him a little tea?
Buddy of mine, Magoo. You know
tea.
Magoo from the Northeast? He said he's chilling with a Jay Gleckner. He's texting me saying
No, okay, wait. Story about him. I think isn't he the guy who provided us with the urinal?
Yes.
The tent.
The urinal tent?
Yeah. So anybody.
You had the pop up last. Yeah, y'all had it all last night.
Anybody who frequents the Birds of a Feather tailgate series, which by the way will have its 3rd installment on November 27th for the Packers game. Right, so when we get on the other side of this, Phil's, after we're celebrating the World Series victory, we got to look to the Packers game. Which, by the way, I don't know if it's gonna be as good a game as we thought because the Packers look like they had serious issues.
Well, it'll be really good then.
But here's the thing. We have all the good stuff, right? We have the chicken. We had the bourbon. I don't know if we're gonna get the bourbon again. I hope so. We got the Kenwood beer, donuts. We got everything you could possibly want. Now we've solved the dilemma for most people, and depending if the ladies are willing, we have a
pop-up tent,
a P tent.
Okay.
But inside the P tent, it's not exactly a glamorous setup. I believe it's a Home Depot bucket with a trash bag in it.
Yeah, we didn't bring it, did we?
We left the bucket behind. I didn't bring.
Did you get the tent though? Did you get the tent?
Yeah.
Somebody had one of those set up directly next to us at the first tailgate, and I was like, "Damn, that's a pretty good idea." It was a little pop-up, like 1-person tent, and it had a little shit bucket in it.
So
I saw
shit bucket.
shit bucket.
No shitting.
Whatever you were doing.
There was no toilet paper in there, but interesting story.
So you guys had one last night. Oh, what?
Rally towels on the P tent floor.
Yeah, just line the P tent with rally.
So interesting tidbit from that though. There was a moment I was in there with my son, because I take him to the bathroom, whatever. And
you were in the P tent?
I was in the P tent. Me and the boy were in the P tent. He's 10 years old. He doesn't like going and stuff like that. I mean, the P tent's pretty scary if you're a kid. You're like, what the hell is this?
Right.
Get in there, use the bucket, boy. But anyway,
especially when you start shaking.
Right. No, but interesting. I'm in there, right, and we zipped it down, and we go to leave, and when this is the most annoying thing. When you're zipping up a coat or something, and the fabric on the side gets pulled into the zipper.
Oh,
so this thing got jammed.
Oh.
Listen, it was on
the game inside the P tent.
It was the fabric on the outside. Like I couldn't figure it out.
Oh,
and
no.
The worst part is you're making it worse. You pull it and you're just making it worse. So I call out to Fink. I'm like, "Yo, Fink, come here." He's like, "No way, don't come in there." I had to convince him.
No.
I'm like, "Yo, I'm in here with my son. I can't get the
He was
zipper."
like, "It's stuck. It's stuck. I need your help."
so-
I was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not coming over there." He's
I said,
like,
"Dude."
"No, my kid's in here."
I'm like, "Fink, come see me in the P10." Yeah, so I think a lot of the City Pigeons fans that like to come down to the tailgates, you got to be excited about the P tent.
So the P tent was courtesy of Jay and
Jay Gleck.
Jay
big
Gleck.
come up.
Shout out Magoo and shout out Jay Gleck.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching,
look
folks.
at this. Look at this.
That's good stuff, but I don't like tea.
You don't like tea? What a diva.
No, I don't.
Oh my god.
I guess I could drink hot water, but it won't.
These guys set us up with this elaborate studio,
Look
this
at
wonderful
this.
studio.
Look at this mug, a golden retriever mug.
And then
what? I'll
gonna-
try.
Just drink the fucking
Maybe it'll
tea,
be good for
man.
you.
It's good
But it's
for
not
you.
going to help
What do you
doing
think?
this show.
You think these Kenwoods are going to help? You think that's helping you?
Look at this cute little dog.
Beautiful.
It looks like, what was your old dog's name?
Wolfie.
Wolfie
was my OG
yeah.
golden retriever, man. We had like 7.
I'm just going to tell everyone when they watch this show, fast forward 35 minutes in for P-Tent talk.
P10 is definitely the highlight. I love it because we spend time trying to actually talk about the game, and that's all crap. And we get to the P10 or the Aramark costume. What's going to be our Aramark costume this episode? I guess it's the P10. I guess that was the high water mark of this so far, or maybe it's your 6th son. I don't know. Anyway, this is exciting stuff right now, and we got to decide what we're going to do. Actually, this is where you guys can help us because we're.
Oh wait, I got a solution. I'm sorry, real quick. This is what you do tomorrow. You go to a sports bar where there's 18 TVs. You got the Eagles on one TV, Phillies on the other.
That's actually a very simple solution to
Yeah,
the
I mean,
problem.
like
That's
that.
right what I'm gonna do.
That was so obvious. I didn't even bother bringing it up. I just figured.
I just fucking got a light bulb over the head. Like,
let you guys go on about your apps and shit. I don't know
Guess
what
what,
you're
guys?
talking about.
I just realized I have an all different dilemma because
you're going to the game.
I'm going to the Phillies
Oh,
game.
boo hoo, boo fucking
So
who
this is-
you.
Is this where you present me with
Yeah,
a
No.
is this my
ticket?
surprise
We
ticket?
did have a
time?
good time. We did have a good time. Rocky, you're my buddy. Nah, son. We've been buddies since high school.
Damn it.
No. I don't know. I think the wife and kid might have to go because. Okay, so here's another dilemma. All right, just hear me out on this. If you let's just say they win tonight, right, and we got the game tomorrow. You want to take your kid, and I already had this issue, right? You want to take your kid because you know you're gonna remember. Am I gonna remember? What am I gonna remember more? Going balls to the wall, in the parking lot and throughout the game with Meech? Or am I going to remember that, my kid saw his...
Definitely the Meech one. I'm just kidding.
But you get my point. You have to make that decision. But here's the thing. Let's assume, they win tonight and tomorrow has the potential to be a clincher. That's a whole other scenario because, if they clinch, you want your kid to be there to see that, right? We were
for
together
sure.
when they won the World Series. But then all hell's going to break loose after that. And so...
But you also want your kid to see that, too.
Yeah,
right?
you want your
an
kid around
extent.
all that.
To
You
an
just don't
extent.
take your kid to Broad Street,
Right,
man.
so
You
here's
just,
my plan.
I would take my kids to Frankfurt and Cotman if they.
That's heavy.
you're like baby twins.
But listen, it's a joyous celebration.
Not
It's,
really ever problems.
it's not like they're going to get
Okay, hold
beat
on.
up.
I got to call timeout because, it's a joyous celebration. But we went to, who was with me? None of you guys. It was Goodhart and Trevor and Tom. We were together. We went to the NLCS celebration on Broad Street. Let me tell you what happened. A girl threw a wine bottle at a line of cops and got absolutely suplexed in front of us. You know what I mean? This is at the
You got video of that?
no, this is the NLCS celebration. So let's just be real. He could see something that could change the course of his life.
That's cool.
It's cool.
How's that not showing up on social media somewhere? Some girl throwing a
Well,
wine
it's
bottle
actually
and
funny
getting pile
because
drive by
all I saw were the cops, suplexing this girl, and I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And then like my wife and Goodhart were like, "She just threw like 2 bottles at these cops."
Was she like a big woman?
I think she was average size.
They're just picking up women and slamming
Yeah,
them.
but the
huh?
cops were
Jesus
coming down the
Christ.
street like everybody's got to move, and it felt like full on like European style. You know what I mean? I don't need my kid to see that. So anyway, the point is, my wife has been with me. She was there. We won the World Series in 2008. She was at the game where we won the National League Championship last week.
She wasn't throwing wine bottles at the
No,
cops.
she
was
was not throwing wine bottles.
Yeah, that's what the party left out. It was her.
What are you doing?
Damn, Beck,
That's
gangster.
funny, man. No, that's not how it went down. So anyway, I figure we'll go to the game, drive down there, and then she can extract them, you know what I mean, and zip down Columbus, and then I veer off and meet up with the homies, and we go through bottles. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. We would never do that. So is that how you guys would handle it, or would you, if you have to choose between your kids? See, it's tough for you. You got 5 kids.
You can just take me, man. Just take me.
Take you, and it solves all my problems.
Exactly.
You are a good wingman for it.
I will turn up down Broad Street.
All right,
I ain't
let's-
throwing no bottles at people, but I will.
You don't have to worry about things we'll see. You've probably seen half of the things already.
Yeah, he's seen it all. at
I've
this
seen a
point.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to make that decision. And Fink, you don't have any kids, and Rock, you don't have any kids, so it's
No.
hard to relate. But these are the tough decisions that a glorious, unexpected World Series run forces upon us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, what else? Is there anything else going on in the world besides this? Because
The Eagles are 7-0.
yeah,
Let's go,
well,
go Birds.
on the football note, you guys weren't you guys in a fantasy league with like your buddies, your Twitter kind of crew, right? How's that going for you? Do you even know?
Yeah, I'm like 3 and 5 or something. I
Think?
suck.
Find out right now.
All right, find out.
I
Because
had David Carr as my quarterback this week. I don't want to.
Yeah, I had him
I
last
know.
week too, and that's how I lost to this fucker over here.
I know that nobody cares about other people's fantasy teams, but
especially at this moment.
But hold on, I do know everybody out here plays fantasy and has had that scenario where, they lost by like less than a point, right? Which is like the worst thing possible. And we were hanging out. It was actually at the on Monday when the game got canceled. We were in the parking lot, and I was so consumed with Phillies stuff. I had gone to the Eagles game the day before. I hadn't even looked. I look up and I go, "Oh my God, I won this game, 132 point something to 133 or 131.7." And I'm like, look at that. And I look up. You know who I was playing? Rock. This guy right here. And you know what happened? Rock, what was the primary reason that you and probably a lot of people lost their fantasy games last week?
Derek Carr,
Derek Carr. What did he have?
1 point, something like that. Yeah.
How is it possible?
I got him on my team to play 1 week when Justin Herbert has a bye. That's it. That's all I need.
Yo,
One
Derek-
good week.
Derek Carr is he stinks, yo. So this dude is such an overrated quarterback. I can't stand that dude.
I don't want to talk about that. What's his name? Derek Carr right now. I really don't.
All right, I hear you.
Anyway, point is, I got that sub 1 point victory over Rocky.
Congratulations! I've lost 3 games like that this year, so I don't care. My team's 1 and
2 and 5.
my team's 1 and 7 or whatever.
As a
whatever.
Philadelphia sports show, we have to mention the Union.
Shout out the Union.
Yo, and seriously, I just want to keep it totally real. Up to this point, I've not ever really talked about the Union because I've never been a real fan. I've never gone to a game, never caught more than like a glimpse of it. So this was what was that game on Saturday? I think it was
Sunday.
I can't remember.
Was
Sunday night.
Man.
Yo, I turned it on, and it was, I think it was right there in the second half, and New York scored, right? And I was like, oh, that sucks, not again, you know, because they took us out last year. And everybody's, I love the way everybody's so psyched up about the Union. I wish them nothing but the best. And so then I started watching it, and I was like, you know how soccer is. I was like, oh my God, like that's going to be hard. You know, 1 goal is a big deal. It's hard to get a goal. And then all of a sudden, they scored like 3 goals. And I was just watching on my phone, and I was like, hell yeah, they scored 3 goals in the matter of like what? I mean, that was like a couple minutes. It was actually fantastic.
I turned it on, and then New York scored like within a minute. I turned it on. I turned it off. As soon as I turned it off, we got like our group chat was going off like another goal.
You were like, you can't turn it back on.
Like, nope,
Superstitious.
But you know what's funny? I did the Rocky move where I think I was watching something with my wife, and I had it on the phone, just keep my eye on it, and then I kept being like, what is going on? So that's an exciting thing. When is that?
I think if they win, you might get a ring for that, for turning the game off.
Should.
They might.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, he might be part of.
I willed them to a win.
Wow.
It was the reason they won.
We had
Was
documentation of it.
because he turned the TV off.
Fink does have.
So I should get a World Series ring for this beard. Right.
It's
Okay.
not-
And I should get one for wearing the same goddamn outfit.
Yeah, and not
5 days in a
showering
row.
too. Yeah, this shit itches, dude. It's got to come off.
So
I think the game's on Saturday. By
okay,
the way.
yeah. When is this game?
I think
need
it's
to know.
Saturday.
Fink, can you give us an update?
And it's at like 2 in the
Somebody
afternoon.
in the chat. Oh, it is. All right. So
I think I could be completely wrong. I asked this kid that sits behind me at work. He actually works for the Union.
Okay.
All hype.
Okay.
So I asked him today. I was like, dude, when's the game? Is it Saturday?
Saturday. At
Wait, the kid
4.
sits
Okay.
behind you at work. He works for the Union.
Yeah.
Therefore, you work for the Union.
I don't fucking work for the Union. I work for the man, but he has a part-time job working with the Union. He's like down on the field. He
Yo,
loves
by the way,
it. This
I was watching the celebration. One of my buddies was at the Union game, and they, you know, how they build like those stages on the field
Yeah.
to present them their trophies. This stage, now I'm sure it was built properly, but it looked like a shaky ass stage. And their whole team is jumping up and down on it, and you see it moving. And all I could think of was
This thing
thing's going to
collapses.
collapse.
It hurt like the best players.
The whole team will be out of commission. It'll be like the last time they made the MLS Cup, and the whole team got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I gotta say, they need to rethink some of these celebrations, right? Because we saw what's his name, Robertson, right? Had the calf strain on the home run celebration. They're getting out of control. But I guess that's just kind of.
So we watching this on
All right, so it's
Saturday?
at 4
or-
o'clock. Now this is interesting to me. I want to know, was this scheduled, you know, earlier than the World Series? Somebody. What about Enrico? He's probably like the expert on this if he's still paying attention.
Who the hell's Enrico?
Enrico from
Iglesias?
Enrico.
We're just my buddy Enrico.
Oh, shout out Enrico. What up,
He's got
Enrico?
the knowledge about
He's,
what's where.
My man. Shout out.
Anyway,
Enrico.
I'm so curious. Did they schedule that at 4 o'clock so that it wouldn't compete with the World Series, or was it like 4 o'clock? I noticed some of these soccer games are scheduled at different times. It's not as much of a primetime thing.
I don't
could be
know.
totally wrong.
Yeah,
We got to figure that out.
I'm sure MLS wouldn't schedule a game to go against the World
I got a
Series.
tea time at 12 o'clock, so I doubt I'll be home in time. But I'm gonna watch the second
time right
second
now, bro?
half.
All right, hold
TT.
on. You got the golden retriever tea time. Hold on, you got a tea time because like you were on a big text thread with everybody about playing golf. Is it related to that, or do you have a separate thing?
Nah, it's just me and the homie. I mean, I was trying to get, I was
'cause
feel a
that
couple
didn't get going?
feelers that didn't get going. Yeah, nah.
Oh, Tom says Enrico MOG, and I assume he means Enrico is an OG. So Tom is blessed Enrico.
So wait.
He's telling you, shut up.
Before we move past this, can what's up with you on Saturday? Because I can easily cancel this tea time and get
Listen, I don't
busy
know.
up at Philly Cricket.
I was gonna be honest. I want to do that, but I'm on real thin ice at home. I've been going real hard.
You might as well just break through that fucking ice. And let's
Hey, if it benefits you in the
Just
form
jump
of a
up and down on
golf,
it.
hey, but
Till it
listen,
cracks.
you see, this is where it's tough, and I don't know if my wife is watching, but it's tough to reason, with women sometimes because it's going to be 75 degrees for the next 4 days.
Seriously,
isn't it?
bro.
And so what? Have I been spending every waking moment thinking about, talking about, doing things related to Philadelphia sports in a way that's probably completely obnoxious to her? Absolutely. But that doesn't change the fact that it's going to be 75 degrees for 3 or 4 days, and objectively, it just makes sense to play golf.
Dude, it's early November. You got to take advantage, man.
If you want to spend some quality time with your family at home tomorrow night and give us your tickets, that'll work.
I'll take one of them.
Yeah, then you can go out Saturday. Have a nice
Right,
time,
then you
enjoy
can-
the weather. You know what? That sounds like a good idea.
All I'm saying is
I think I'll have to just risk my marriage. I love you if you're watching, please.
If I remember
I do want to
correctly-
play golf. It's okay. I'm not sure.
if I remember correctly, there was like a 10:30 tee time
Right.
over there. That's
I did-
perfect
I
time
just
to
want you
get
know,
home, just
I
in
might-
time to
I
get
might
it.
have perused the tee sheet today just to get a look
Is
at
it still there?
There's some options. We can talk about it later.
All right, my man.
And by the way, I was thinking on that note, should we put together? I think we should have a City Pigeons golf outing. At some
Hell
point.
yeah.
Are you guys down with that?
Hell yeah. I mean,
What do you mean by outing? Like we gotta
We got.
schedule something big?
Yeah, no. To start, it would be like we invite people, but you have to book your own tea time.
Yeah, right.
Our tea time will be at 1:30.
yo, come meet us at
Everyone
Frankfurt
separate holes, so
Torresdale.
we'll never interact with each other. It'll
Right,
be a
and
great
then
time.
afterwards,
What's the shit called up there? Is it Burholm? That's the course.
Burholm
Yeah.
Park. Where?
No, what's the Burns? Yeah,
got a good place
we're
to
at.
sit. And we could do
nah.
Walnut Lane. That's
The
the,
John F. Burns Invitational.
Exactly. The City Pigeons, John F. Burns
What if we had,
Invitational.
okay, hear me out. What if we did one where we played like
Yeah, they put a lot of money into Bernie.
Yeah, I'm not shitting on
Yeah.
Burns. I'm just saying.
How
something
many,
in
how many munis are there anymore? 'Cause-
Across the street is the Union League. That's the good one.
Right, what
Yeah,
if
I've
we
been
did
there,
like,
that place-
We'd have to break into that place.
it should be something.
No,
like,
we got connects up there.
I got guys in there.
No, listen. What if you go Walnut Lane and then you got to like pound a D'Alessandro's cheesesteak, and then you go up and you play what's it, Burning, and then you got to go to like Steve's or something. We can
Yo, coming in 2023, City Pigeons, John F. Burns, golf outing.
That's what we're doing.
Keep your eye open.
This is where our mind is at. Minutes before the Phillies game.
Yo, it's hot as shit in here. I ain't gonna
So hot in here.
I thought it was these lights. I was sweating my ass off earlier.
Hey, but you know what? Look, guys, this is the real media, okay?
Yeah.
Now we're in the real media. We decided that because everything is going so well and that the teams are doing so great that we need to be part of the real media. Hence this wonderful
I'm
studio.
gonna put my
And
floating
guess
head
what?
T-shirt back
Hey,
on.
you think real media lights aren't hot? They are, man. So this is what it's all about. You're gonna put your translucent shirt back on. All right, just for the end. All right, so
What's it like? 10 minutes till?
yeah, we gotta get going here.
Let's wrap this up. I got to drive back to the Northeast.
We got 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes left.
I got 8 minutes to get home. I'm 45 minutes away from my house.
Good
Think
luck.
I can do it?
Yeah, if you need to watch something in the car, man, streameast.com. Just bust it, put it in your little.
Oh, Stream East, he's saying.
Your little-
This is
I
his-
thought you said Stream Meech.
I did too.
Yeah,
I was like, sad,
Nah, Stream East, man.
Can I say this though? He's always complaining about how delayed he is on this stream because we're like on a text
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Oh, I found another one though, and it's called Crack Stream.
Anything to say to
Crack Streams.
My God. All right.
Listen.
Well, I'm not proud to say it, but I guess we're gonna head our separate ways, and everybody's gonna go home and sit on the couch.
Nah, we're talking about. We're all going out and getting rowdy for this game.
Is that what we're doing? Yeah, let's tell them. That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna do.
Everybody
Yes.
go out, get fucking rowdy, go get crazy.
Yeah, if you're watching this down by the stadium or something, you're a real one. Thank you. Everybody
Yeah.
have a good time. We have no idea, by the way. The hardest part about this has been like every week figuring out what the hell we're going to do. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know if we're going to be.
I kind of know.
I don't know if we're going to be celebrating or if we're going to be, kind of upset. I don't really know. I hope. So,
There's always something to celebrate in Philly
always-
sports
always
nowadays.
something.
Come
And,
on
hey,
now.
let's just keep shouting them out. Our buddy Mark Goodhart.
Yo,
you know
Phillies
what I
are
mean?
winning this
Shout
shit.
out
I
to
mean,
Goodhart.
Shout out
it
Goodhart.
might not
We
be.
seen him we didn't even know he was sitting in our section yesterday. We turn around, he's looking at us from like 10 rows in front of us.
By the way, he was going to go to the game Monday night in a Ted costume, which
Yeah, I
is the,
saw that.
the teddy bear costume. So that he didn't get a chance to do that, but we'll make him break it out. And again, if you happen to get injured in any way, if the Phillies win the World Series, you're probably going to get injured at some point, and so you need to call Mark.
Unless
Goodhart.
it was your own fault.
It's not if they're going. They're going to win. It might not be tomorrow, but they're going to win. I got that feeling. Yeah,
like it.
We're not going back to Houston.
They might
It will
not
go
but
down
They're going to win.
as the most incredible experience.
This is basically what happened last year, right? With the Braves, right?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
stopped
pretty
paying
much.
attention. I didn't care.
Wild card
I didn't
team.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody have a great
Look at me and my
rest
baseball
of the World
knowledge.
Series. Go Birds. We'll see you
Peace.
next week somewhere,
Go
hopefully
Phils.
from Broad Street.
Phil's
Let's
the
go.
Said. Peace.
experience. You know,
Basically what happened last year, right, with the Braves, right?
I don't know. It's not
pretty
pretty
much.
Yeah.
Wild card team.
Yeah.
All right, everybody have a great
Look at me and my
rest
baseball
of the
now.
World
You guys all right?
Series. See you next week somewhere. Hopefully
That's
from
exactly
Broad
what you
Street.
needed. Me sweat it out.
I was like, damn, I was looking over. I saw you guys just